Ever wondered why you're not losing weight despite following a strict diet? Well, you're not alone. There are countless people out there grappling with the same predicament. They're ticking all the right boxes, eating healthy foods, cutting out junk, and even sweating it out at the gym. Yet the scales just don't seem to budge. So what's going wrong? We all have been led to believe that as long as we're eating healthy foods, we can eat as much as we want, and we won't gain weight. But here's the catch. Even healthy foods have calories, and if you consume more than you burn, you're bound to gain weight. Yes, that's right. Eating kale chips all day won't keep those pounds at bay if you're eating them by the bucket. This is where portion sizes come into play. You see, maintaining a balanced diet isn't just about what you're eating, it's also about how much you're eating. It's entirely possible to overeat healthy foods. A handful of nuts is a great snack, but if you're eating a whole bag, that's a different story. Think of it this way. Portion sizes are the hidden variable in the weight loss equation. They're like the invisible ink on your nutrition map, often overlooked but incredibly important. Just because a food is good for you doesn't mean that more of it is better. It's time to change the narrative around dieting. Let's move away from the notion of good foods and bad foods and instead focus on balance and portion control. Let's stop seeing dieting as a punishment and start seeing it as a journey towards healthier eating habits. In the end, it's not about depriving yourself or eating only clean foods. It's about understanding your body's needs and meeting them in a balanced way. Remember, a diet is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It's a tailored plan that works for you, your body, and your lifestyle. So it's time to debunk the myth. It's not just about what you eat, but how much you eat. So, how do we determine the right portion sizes? Well, it's not as straightforward as one might think. Portion sizes aren't a one-size-fits-all solution. They depend on various individual factors, such as your age, gender, activity level, and health goals. Let's break it down. Firstly, age plays a significant role in determining portion sizes. As we grow older, our metabolism naturally slows down, meaning we need fewer calories to maintain our weight. So, a teenager with a high metabolism might need larger portions than an older adult. Gender is another factor. In general, men have more muscle mass and a higher metabolic rate than women, so they may require larger portion sizes. However, it's important to remember that these are general guidelines and individual metabolic rates can vary significantly. Now, let's talk about activity level. If you're an athlete or have a physically demanding job, you'll need larger portions to fuel your body. However, if you're sedentary or lightly active, smaller portions may be more appropriate to prevent weight gain. And lastly, your health goals. Are you trying to lose weight, maintain your current weight, or gain muscle? Your portion sizes will need to adjust accordingly. For example, if you're aiming to lose weight, you'll need to create a calorie deficit, meaning smaller portions. But if you're looking to build muscle, you may need larger portions to provide the necessary nutrients for muscle growth. Speaking of nutrients, let's not forget the role of calorie intake. All foods contain calories, and these are our body's source of energy. The key is to balance the number of calories you consume with the number you burn. That's where portion control comes in. But how do you know how many calories are in your portions? Well, reading food labels and using online resources can help. You can also use visual cues like comparing a serving of meat to the size of your palm or a serving of grains to a tennis ball. Remember, portion size is personal. What works for others may not work for you. Let's make this practical. How can you apply portion control in your daily life? It's simpler than you might think. First, let's visualize. Picture your hand. A serving of protein, such as meat or tofu, should be about the size of your palm. Your fist approximates a serving of vegetables, while a cupped hand holds a serving of carbs like rice or pasta. For fats like oil or butter, aim for an amount the size of your thumb. This way, your hand becomes a portable, personalized portion guide. Next, consider your dishware. Using smaller plates and bowls can trick your brain into thinking you're eating more than you actually are. It's all about perception. A small plate filled with food seems more satisfying than a larger plate with the same amount of food. It's a simple change that can have a big impact on your portion sizes. Now, let's address food labels. They're not just there for decoration, they're your guide to understanding what's in your food and how much constitutes a serving. Yes, that tiny print on the back of the package matters. It tells you the serving size, the number of servings per container, and the nutritional content per serving. So before you dig into that bag of chips, take a moment to read the label. You might be surprised to find that what you thought was one serving is actually 2 or 3. Finally, remember that portion control doesn't mean you have to go hungry. It's about eating balanced meals and understanding what a serving size really looks like. It's a tool to help you enjoy your food while also nourishing your body. With these practical tips, you can start practicing portion control today. Remember, it's not about deprivation, but about balance and awareness. So go ahead, give it a try. Your body will thank you. But portion control is more than just measuring food. Let's dive into the world of mindful eating, a concept that merges the art of mindfulness with the act of eating. It's about being fully present in the moment, paying attention to the colors, smells, tastes, and textures of what we're eating. It's not just about the food on our plates, but also about our relationship with that food. You see, when we eat mindfully, we tune into our body's hunger and fullness cues. We start to recognize when we're truly hungry and when we've had enough. This awareness can be a game changer in controlling portion sizes. It's not about depriving ourselves, but about understanding our needs and responding appropriately. Imagine this. You're eating a meal while watching a thrilling TV show. You're so engrossed in the plot that you don't realize you've finished your meal until you reach for another bite and find an empty plate. Sound familiar? When we eat without distractions, we are more in tune with our body's signals. We can appreciate the taste of the food, savor each bite, and naturally eat less. This is the power of mindful eating. But what about the speed of eating? Ever noticed how fast we tend to eat during a busy day? The problem is, it takes about 20 minutes for our brains to register that we're full. If we eat too quickly, we might consume more than we need before that fullness signal kicks in. So, slowing down, taking the time to chew properly, and savoring the food can make a big difference. It leads to better digestion, greater satisfaction with our meals, and yes, it helps control portions too. Mindful eating is like a dance, a harmonious interaction between you and your food. It's not a diet or a strict regimen. It's a way of life, an approach that can enhance our health and our relationship with food. Mindful eating turns portion control into a natural, enjoyable process. So, what have we learned today? We've taken a deep dive into the world of eating right, and it all starts with debunking common misconceptions. We discovered that it's not just about cutting out certain food groups, but rather understanding our portion sizes. We've also learned that portion control is a practical and effective way of managing our food intake. By simply adjusting our plate size, we can ensure we're consuming the right amount of nutrients without overeating. Then we explored the concept of mindful eating, an approach that encourages us to savor our meals, pay attention to hunger and fullness cues, and ultimately develop a healthier relationship with food. All these elements combined, understanding portion sizes, practicing portion control, and eating mindfully are the pillars of a balanced, nutritious diet. Remember, the key to a balanced diet is not just what you eat, but how much you eat. Happy eating!